Like, who are you? He goes, I'm Secret Service.
Shut up. Because he quite literally saved someone from drowning. Isn't that cool?
And it matches your fingernails.
It does. Hey you guys, welcome back to Parking Lot Dreamer. I'm super excited to be here with my new friend, Jay Allen.
What's up, Hope?
Welcome
How are you?
to the van.
I never thought I'd do something like this, but here we are.
I was just telling Jay, I was like, I feel so weird asking you to come to a blank warehouse and come into my van. And he's like, hey, I've been weirder places.
I told my wife where I was going. She didn't even flinch. She said, have fun.
Have fun.
So I don't think she cares about me.
Well, did she know it was me?
She does now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she said to say hello.
I was bumping the album last night. Halfway House is so good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
that's a song I didn't intend to release. I wrote it after, so not a lot of people know I went through a divorce. Before Kylie, before my happy marriage, I got married young as a kid, and we were kind of high school sweethearts, and instead of growing together, we grew apart, and it is what it is. I'm actually really happy for her. She got remarried and has a bunch of kiddos, and she still lives in Nashville, but during that time, I wrote that song, Halfway House, and I was listening to it one night to the demo, and my wife goes, you should tease that. You should, share that. And I was like, that's about my ex-wife. She goes, I don't care. It's part of your story. People will relate to that. And so Kylie's actually the reason why I released it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That's
so special that you have such a, decent relationship with an ex. So many people... It's so bad, but I was watching other interviews and stuff you did about how she was the reason you moved here and stuff. So It's nice that you guys you want the best for her.
You know? It's a choice. Life comes your way, and you just get to choose how you respond to it. And so for me, I wish her the best. There's no point. It's a lot of wasted energy to have a hard heart.
Right.
So, and she really, honestly, is the reason I moved to Nashville. 11 years ago now, she woke me up. We were living in Des Moines, and she said, "Jay, you need to move to Nashville, otherwise you never will." And so, I did it. She convinced me. So it didn't turn out the way I thought it would, but it's even better.
Yeah, a lot of the times that happens. It's not in your plan, but God's plan is even better.
Oh, I love God's plan. Yeah.
Me too. Me too. Even when sometimes I'm like, oh, this is stressful. This is not.
Yeah, now to the point, I think it's an experience and age thing, but when things start to feel hard and stressful, and even when you're in that dark valley, I get pumped now because I know something good is coming.
Something's on the other side.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here we go. Just keep your head down, keep grinding, smile through the pain. We're going to get there. And then it's like, oh, this makes sense,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is so awesome. What's your favorite song off the album? And this is your first... I saw that you did Christian stuff beforehand. But
you saw that. Okay.
I didn't find it.
Yeah, because it's under another name.
I know. I was trying to figure it out.
Oh,
but,
I like this, Hope.
But this is your first full-length country that I saw on Spotify?
Yeah, it's a super long story. I'm going to try to, keep this as short as possible, but music is what I do for fun. It's a hobby, really my job is philanthropy work and charitable work. I lost my mom to Alzheimer's a couple years back, and I'd moved to Nashville to do music. That was the intent, but then, my mom got sick, and she was 51 when she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. It took her life in 2 years and 9 months, and just out of heart, there was no I'm gonna write a song to try to be known or benefit my career. It was I need to get this out. I don't know what's happening to me and my family. And so my dad brought my mom to Nashville and took her out to a venue, and people that have dementia and Alzheimer's have this blank, glossy look in their eyes, and we took her into this venue. It used to be called the Sutler. I now found out it's no longer the Sutler. It's some Mexican joint, but I walked in and she saw the band on stage and she heard the music, and that glossy look in her eyes went away. And so I took her in and we started dancing right in front of everyone, right in front of the stage, me and my mama, and I just felt her take a breath, and I call it almost like a come back, like a come to moment. She leaned in, she said, "Oh, Jay, I missed you. I love you, son. So good to be here." And for me, that was I got my mom back, and the why was because of music. Somehow music brought my sick mother back, and so I could not let that go. And I had this thought, I still see you. in between those blank stares. And so I wrote that song out of heartbreak, out of desperation to figure out what was happening to us. And I wrote it. I was signed to Sony ATV at the time. Now it's Sony Publishing, but I wrote it with Jason Nix, who has now had tons of hits. And it was one of those things where I just wrote it and I was done, and I turned it in like you do songs when you're signed to a publishing company. And the president of Sony reached out a couple days later, and he said, Jay, I just heard Blank Stares. That's what it's called. And he said, not a lot of people know this, but I took care of my dad. He had Alzheimer's. He just passed, but I was his caregiver for the last 5 years. I know exactly what this song's about. He said, so make me a promise, buddy. I'm going to get this song in front of some very important people. If you promise that every dime we make, we're going to give back towards the fight against Alzheimer's. And I said, yes, sir. And that's really how it all started. Wow. Ended up on Sirius XM, The Highway, an event coordinator in San Diego, California. She was partnering with the National Alzheimer's Association, putting on a gala. She reached out and invited us to come play. Yeah. And Garth Brooks was there, 49ers were there. It was like the celebrity gala, and I just got up and did my thing. And that night they raised a couple $1 million to fight against Alzheimer's, and that was the first of what has spiderwebbed into hundreds of charity events I've done over the last 6 years. And we've helped raise about $160 million.
I was gonna say, I read that.
So, and it's growing.
Crazy.
Yeah, I keep saying yes to everything, and it's sad thing has turned into something really beautiful, and that's also turned me into an artist. You know, a lot of times.
Did you move here thinking you were gonna be a songwriter and not an artist?
I moved here, thinking, my ex kicked me out the door. She's, I've never wanted to move to Nashville, but she said, you gotta go. I heard all these heartbreak stories. You move to Nashville, it doesn't work out. You go back home with your tail between your legs, and
right.
She convinced me to go, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it, and so it started out as songwriter, aspiring artist, and then it turned into I'm a philanthropist. I have a message, I have a purpose that's bigger than me, and it happens to involve my voice. So a lot of times when I'm invited to do these galas or fundraisers or charity events, they want a band. They wanted us to put on a party, and so I created a 5-piece country rock band, and we were just that. We rock and roll. We put on a 2-hour party, and we've been touring full time now. We just did our Night of Hope tour, just ended that. We started that in February, and because of all that, The Voice heard about me and reached out, and I said no 4 years in a row. And finally I was like, what better way to share my story and share about the fight against Alzheimer's than to go on The Voice. And so they shared it in a really beautiful way that I could have probably never expressed myself. Led to an independent record deal with 1RPM, led to me now partnering with a new manager who is, she is the best. I've always wanted to work with powerful, strong women, and she is just that. Yeah, I'm surrounded by them now. I can't shake them now. Yeah, you being one of them. My wife Kylie, Stacy, my manager. I love working with powerful women, and she's created all these awesome opportunities for me. And one of them, the first thing she said was, Jay, have you ever released a record? And I was like, not officially. And she goes, well, you should. Let's put out an album. So she introduced me to Matt McClure, and Matt, I found out later that he produced some of my favorite tracks. I Drive Your Truck by Lee Brice.
No way.
Yeah, and so he's like this stud producer, but I first just fell in love with his story. Him and his wife both are cancer survivors, and so we ended up linking up, and that's some of my most memorable moments, with him, and just like tears in the studio. It's not even making the music, it was the stories and the laughter and the emotion in the studio with him. So now we have an album. It's something I just put out for fun, but I feel like people like it, and I want everything I put out, I want to have purpose. So we dropped it on my mom's birthday, June 28th, and we titled it Des Moines, because Des Moines was the place I was when my ex woke me up and said, you need to move to Nashville. So yeah,
that is so special. It's the back to your mom waking up during music. That is so common, like the ties between music and like dementia and all those things. It's like people can technically have no memory, and then you hear stories all the time. They'll sit at the piano and play things perfectly from memory if they were a musician. And
yeah, it's unreal. We just did an event called the Power of Love Gala in Vegas, and it's tied. Every dime they make, it goes back to the Cleveland Clinic there in Vegas. And a guy started it. His dad passed away from dementia. He was so bummed that there was nothing in Vegas to help provide care for his dad, so he started this clinic on his own. It started as like a little dinner every year, raising funds for the Cleveland Clinic, and it's turned into the largest gala in the world. And they invited me to come out and play at the gala along like Colby Calais and people that I should not be rubbing shoulders with. And we thought, let's go a day early and let's actually go see the clinic. And let's put on like a music therapy class. And they decided to bring in like news, like Fox News, to film the thing. And it's cool to see people that are very, very sick actually come back to life because of music. So I did the silly thing, just thought of it like, I'm put on my sunglasses, get them up and dance and like do something silly. I noticed this lady, she was sitting, they invited like family members to come with them for this event. And so we're all sitting in a circle in Cleveland Clinic, and I noticed this lady, she's just kind of sitting there, not really present, not really alert. She kind of just kept her to herself. And I decided to do that and go out, and I put my guitar right in front of her and I started dancing, being silly. She got up, she kicked her shoes off, she grabbed her husband. They were spinning around and dancing and laughing. And it was like the most beautiful thing. And I've seen that time and time again. I've had a lady that never spoke. We went and performed at this care facility center, and apparently this lady hadn't spoke for like 2 years, and I put on this show for them, and then afterwards she came up to me and she would not stop talking, and she wanted to show me her little baby doll, and we danced, and she was in my ear, and she's like, "You were just so cute, Jay." She hadn't spoken.
She's trying to pick you up.
Yeah, she hadn't spoken 2 years. Now she's trying to take me out on the town, so that's all because of music, and music is such a powerful tool. It's a universal language, and for me, someone that has faith, and I believe you do, I believe it's of God, that we have this opportunity just to write a song or sing some notes or play an instrument, and we can actually heal people, so pretty cool stuff.
That is so cool. Yeah. And okay, we have to talk about this. When Jay just sat down before we started rolling, he said that his lower back was hurting because he quite literally saved someone from drowning. What? Yeah,
so so I'm trying this new thing where I'm not drinking alcohol, which thank God. I'm not telling everyone you have to not drink alcohol. For me, it was a personal choice.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, awesome. Right on. High five. Let's go.
I just never got started.
Well, I started too young. And I kind of, like I've always, like the last 6 years, I've been at the forefront of, raising awareness for a disease and doing all these powerful, beautiful things, positive thing. But in the background, I went through a grieving process and kind of lost myself to alcohol. And we talked about Stacy, my manager, and she just kind of like quietly encouraged me. And, she would always, after a show, be like, you did really great. Here's the things you did really good at. But watch this video. That part was kind of weird. And I always in the back of my mind knew she was talking about me drinking. And like, I always think that's because I was drunk on stage. That's why I did or said that thing. Yeah. So I just recently decided about 2 months ago, just to stop, and I feel amazing. And so we have a lake house. My in-laws, Kylie's mom and dad, have a lake house in Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma. We were out there for her birthday on 4th of July. And Dad decided to swim out to his boat, and he has legs that don't work very well. He's recently had like hip surgeries, and I just remember everyone screaming, "Bill's drowning, Jay, go help." And so my best buddy Trevor jumped in. I ran, I was like, I'm not going to swim that far. So I literally ran all the way around the beach and then jumped in and swam to him. Right as he was going under, I grabbed him and pulled him up. I would have also drowned if my buddy Trevor hadn't met us just at that moment. I pulled him up, just got my head above water, and then Trevor pulled me up to the boat. And I felt something really almost like it tore in my back. And we saved him, and we're all good. Thank God, everything's fine. But yeah, I've been struggling ever since.
Oh man, how was 4th of July as someone who's newly not drinking? Was it hard?
Yeah, so it started. We did a 11-day run on the West Coast, and I'm like, I'm gonna try just start there. If I can not drink, play all these shows, do all these media interviews, do all this traveling, and not have one drink, then hey, I can do anything. So I'd already survived that, and it didn't feel like, I say survive, but it was easy. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I think it was just all in my mind, going in. So the lake, a lot of people were asking, like, what's going on? Like, you're not drinking? They just noticed, like, I had a Celsius in my hand, or an energy drink, or a water instead of a beer or a mixed cocktail. And people noticed eventually, but it wasn't a thing. Like, I had a blast. And I woke up the next day without a headache or a hangover. I enjoyed myself. And I got to, if I had been drunk in that moment, I wouldn't have been able to help my father-in-law. So, like, dang, everything happens for a reason. So,
I know. Was there like a rip current or something, or just you said his legs?
So I think what happened was he had everyone had like pulled up and docked up on the beach, but he decided to anchor out because there wasn't a lot of room, and it was like a weird area where there was like a dip, like you could walk, and then suddenly it was like a drop off of like 30 feet, and so he was walking out to the boat and just like lost it, so.
It's so easy to do, especially I feel like it's always like Memorial Day or 4th of July where you hear like horror stories.
Terrible
like
things have happened out on that lake specifically. So we're knock on wood, thank God nothing happened.
Thank God. Yeah, I feel like it's a trend right now for people to stop drinking. There are so many country artists that are like, nah, I'm good right now.
That's a good trend to start.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's
it feels more acceptable. Like before it would be, what the heck?
Well, for me, it's like, I want to be able to do what I'm doing and utilize my gift of voice to help people forever, for as long as I can. And I'm going to hit an end, and very quickly, if I would have continued on that route of losing myself to alcohol. So it's for me, my health matters so much. And also, like, I'm out there, I should practice what I preach. A big part of the onset and cause of dementia is alcohol abuse, lack of sleep, poor diet, lack of exercise. And so I'm doing all the right things except for the alcohol part. So now I'm doing that correctly as well. So now I can go out there and proudly say, I am doing what I am asking you to do as well.
Yeah, I'm doing all of the wrong things except alcohol, so...
Hey,
not sleeping enough, not eating good.
It's tough, yeah. Well, we're all on our own journey, people can, speak to you till they're blue in the face, try to teach you, but we all are on our own path and find our own way, so, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a favorite song off of Des Moines, what would it be? For me, it's by far No Present Like the Time. I was... that one is really special.
That one, it started as not a great feeling to be on The Voice filming, and I didn't realize this until I got there, that they trap you in a hotel room the whole time you're there. And I was a grown man planning a wedding, and I'm very active, very social, used to touring nonstop, doing things like this all the time. And they're like, no, you can't leave your hotel room for more than 10 minutes per day chaperoned.
What?
Unless you're filming. And then we had to wear masks the whole time. And
was this during COVID?
Yeah, it was right on past COVID, but on the West Coast it was very much so prevalent, still a thing there, so they took it very seriously, and obviously they don't want the show to get shut down, so we had to abide by the rules. I will say now I snuck out many times. We got Kylie a blonde wig off of Amazon and snuck her in to the hotel, and I disarmed the exit door and the stairwell to sneak her in, and we just
funny.
Found a way. So
she went undercover, blonde Kylie or dark hair Kylie?
Oh, dark hair. Yeah, I've not only felt like I was cheating, it's just she's supposed to have dark hair. Yeah, it was weird, but it's for me it was like, oh, this sucks. 2.5 months by myself. That's not cool.
Wow.
And then I thought. It was almost like the next thought was like, but you're never going to get this time again.
Right.
Make the most out of it. So we talked about grieving processes. For me, I don't think I realized until that moment that I hadn't ever actually grieved my mother. It had been a couple years, but I'd still I was this internally very sad. Yeah. So I kind of decided I'm going to work out these cobwebs in my head and my heart and just sit with this and wallow in it and let myself heal. And I thought of that phrase, there's no time like the present. I'll flip the script. What about there's no present like the time? time is such a gift. You don't really truly understand that until you experience loss, whatever loss that is for you. I can't ever hear my mom's voice again. I can't ever get a text or a phone call from her, and that really that weighed on me. And I decided, what's the positive that I took from that? Because you can focus on all these, why me? Why did I lose my mom? Why did she get dementia? Why my family? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, what are the positive things I took from that? And so, I'll get through this quickly, but thought about, what if you're stuck in traffic at the end of the day, your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, your sister, brother calls you. A lot of times we're like, I don't want to hear their crap right now. I'm not going to pick that up. Call them back later. What if you pick it up? Because you might not get tomorrow.
Right.
What if your best friend, close friend, hurts you, stabs you in the back? What if you learn to show some grace? Forgive them once, twice, 3 times. Always show grace. Someone invites you out to a white van.
Show up.
Yeah, I won't say where it is, but in a weird spot. Just say yes, because
just say yes.
Now I know when you just say yes and just do the thing, something beautiful comes from it. And so that's where that song was. It was born out of that thought process, and just another kind of follow up to Blank Stares, but here's the beautiful result of the story. So
yeah, that one was definitely one of my favorites, especially because this whole van life thing.
Yeah,
I feel like it forced me to be more minimalist. I had to get rid of so much shit.
I love it.
So much stuff.
Can you talk to Kylie? Gosh, I'm a minimalist and simpleton, and she.
No, for real. When I first moved from Massachusetts to Iowa, Mitch was helping me unpack, and there were 10 totes, and he was like, "Whew, that was hard." I was like, "Oh, those are just my shoes." That's just my shoe collection.
No.
And now that's all the space we have.
Yeah, good for you.
So it forces you to be more present and more mindful. And yeah, I'm always looking for things to add to our little travel playlist. And I was like, this is the one. This is going on there.
Yeah, it's what really matters, so yeah, oh my gosh, Kylie has so many shoes.
She has cute shoes, though.
Yeah, now people are like, can I come over and borrow your stuff? I'm like, we need to start we need to monetize this situation.
For real.
Kylie's Closet or Mermaid Closet or something, I don't know.
That is so fun. She always has the coolest clothes. The girl that makes her outfits, Mandy, made a jacket for me to wear in Cosmopolitan magazine. So it's just kind of
right on. We love Mandy.
The little connections that we have.
We love Mandy. I'll give a shout out to Bluff Agency, Kelly Page. She actually makes a majority of Kylie's outfits.
Heck yeah.
Anytime you see me with a hat on or a jacket that says something on the back or something that's different than what I usually wear, it came from Bluff Agency. So she's one of my oldest childhood friends. And she actually, I blame her for all the clothes, but she came to Nashville, I think around the same time you did, and we helped plug her in, and now she's styling everyone, and so that's
yeah.
cool.
I think I follow Bluff Agency on Instagram.
Yeah, go follow Bluff Agency.
She's amazing. Awesome. How important is style to you? Because you're dripping.
Oh yeah, so I did a deal with Lagos Jewelry. Yeah, that sounds bougie, but it's it came from the Power of Love Gala we talked about, where they were giving away jewelry and auctioning it off, and they asked all the artists if you could be involved and help show off our jewelry for this cause. And my manager Stacy, being who she was, she turned it into something more. So I'm
Go Stacy.
I'm required to wear the Lagos jewelry at all times. Anytime I do things,
it looks sick.
But it's really important for me to how you present yourself. It's not I don't go to the gym for how I look. I go to the gym for how I feel, and also to be a good example to others. And when I'm on stage, I want that young guy to look up on stage and be like, "Oh, I could do that." I could go to the gym or eat right and look like that guy. So I think it's important for how you present yourself to others, in a positive light. So
totally.
Yeah.
Favorite tattoo?
Oh, favorites. I got this one on my hand. This one's just for me. It says, "I still see you." The hook line on Blank Stares is, "I still see you," in between the blank stares. So.
And it's a reminder that your mom still sees you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, the way I'm gonna cry.
So it's like when I'm holding the wheel when I'm driving, I just immediately like think of her, and I feel like she's with me. So
that's amazing. I know. I've been toying with the idea of getting one. I have none right now.
Oh, let's go.
But I don't know. I'm not scared of commitment in any other area of my life. Like, moved into a van, fully committed. Got married at 18, fully committed.
Yeah.
But there's something about a tattoo that I'm like so scared of, but I love how they look.
You can't scrub it off, I'll tell you that much. I actually have a lot of cover-ups. So
Really?
That's a thing where I always had this weird feeling even as a child, like I would draw on myself. Like,
yeah.
And then when I started singing, performing like in school or at church, like before I would always like take a Sharpie and put like a cross on my arm, and everyone like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna have tattoos. So I got a few when I was young that like didn't turn out well, and as I got older, I'm like, that doesn't look great, so I got a lot of cover-ups. My whole back is one big cover-up piece.
That's cool.
Yeah, so but yeah, I got a couple people. If you need someone, let me know. Some artists.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I kind of want to get the word, and probably not because it's ugly when it's written out, but the word when. Because growing up, I always used to say, like, when I'm on stage, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that. And then as I got older and less confident and the world stepped in, I started saying if. And my mom was like, hey, when?
Oh, I love that.
So I was like, I think that would be a good little reminder.
That's cool.
And a little cross somewhere, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'll keep you updated.
Just do it on your throat right here.
I could do like the Post Malone face tat or something.
Our friend Allie Colleen, she got that throat tattoo.
Does it look cool? Some
she's
girls
like
look so
she's like a pretty girl, and then she's like has like the throat tattoo. I'm like, that's so dope.
There are so many. There was a girl here filming not too long ago that had like a face tat above her eyebrow, and I was like, wow, you are a badass.
Honestly, if I didn't have Kylie and my mother-in-law in my life, I would have face tattoos. That would be all the way up to here. We went and we toured the UK, and we're in Wales, and 2 days in, they're like, you should get the Welsh dragon tatted on you. You know, like, you got to get tatted while you're here. I'm like, you're right. So they hooked it up, and I got the...
You did it? You did?
Yeah, so Kylie was like, you can get a tattoo wherever you want, just don't get it on your neck. And so I told that lady, I want it like right here in the ditch, right here, like right above my shoulder. I was like, just don't put it on my neck. My wife will divorce me. And so we started talking, and like I didn't realize till afterwards she kind of got it up on my neck.
Up on your neck a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh crap.
Kylie, that doesn't count.
Thank you. So
right?
I wish you would have told her that, because that was about a 2-week-long fight.
No, it doesn't count. It's like just poking through the collar.
Yeah,
you really can't.
I wear a lot of collared shirts like this, so it covers it up. But for me,
it's not like a throat piece. You know?
I will respect her wishes. But if she wasn't around, I would be up to here. They'd be everywhere. So I'm trying to grow more skin. I think legs are next for me, honestly. So I got the itch again, so we'll see what happens.
Those ones that people get like right above their knee are pretty cool.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. Yep.
On the way home, making tattoo appointments.
Always. Yeah, that's a text away from me now. Yeah, my tattoo artist is like one of my best friends at this point. So
I love that. So you just released the album. What is next?
Yeah, so they call us Weekend Warriors. So I actually finally got a couple weeks off to kind of like recalibrate, because I've been touring my face off, really honestly, the last 2 years. Ever since I got off The Voice, I immediately started going out. Yeah. So, and then we just did the Night of Hope tour and a bunch of galas to follow. So I'm gonna be just touring. I'm from August 1st through the end of the year. I'll pretty much be gone every weekend. So,
heck yeah. Yep. How does that? That's like a more personal question. I was like, I need to ask Jay about this, because Mitch is a musician too.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
That's ultimately my goal. How do you and Kylie manage both being on tour at the same time? For us, I mean, it's honestly why it works. One of the big reasons why we work. Yeah. We're both like
A personalities. We're both very like focused on what we're doing, you know, like I'm like all in on philanthropy at all times, and now I'm like starting to elevate my artistry, my career. She's, you know, told her mom when she was 12, I'm gonna skip college, I'm gonna be a country singer, move to Nashville. That's all she's done, all she's ever known. So we're both very self-focused, and so too much time together is actually not healthy for us. And so the time apart is actually, you know, the phrase distance makes the heart grow fonder. That is very real for us. So like now, like she was away for a day and a half, and I'm like, oh, I miss her. Then we're gonna be together for 2 days, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta go.
Gotta blast.
Yeah, so it works for us.
That's perfect. Yeah,
it's good for us.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I've like played through so many scenarios, and I'm like, Mitch, you're gonna have to be my guitarist, because like being without you,
yeah, it's tough.
I would do it though.
You know, I think when you're like together for so long, you're like, I can't imagine a day without you. But when you're out there and you're doing it and you're working, like time goes so quickly.
And working for a bigger purpose too.
Yeah, and then you come home to each other. It's like, oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's like you are home.
Yeah.
I saw that you're doing a candle. That's exciting.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like I say yes to everything. So that was a cool thing with All Country News. Yeah, they reached out to me and they're like, would you like want to do a candle, and like you can choose the scent and choose what it's called. And so as a joke, when we talked about how all these galas and fundraisers and the Alzheimer's Association, when they had me out, they wanted me to like put on a party at the end of these events. So I started a band. And as a joke on the road, never like marketed it, promoted it, nothing, but on the road I call my band the Stallions. It's like a funny thing. Like we get in the van, we're like, giddy up, let them horses run. Like it's just a funny thing. Like it's before every show, 1, 2, 3, the Stallions. So everything is like, we wear all black, everything's about horses. It's just a silly thing. So I was like, I want to call the candle the Stallion, and I want it to smell like leather. They're like, sure.
Those are the best. I love like man-scented candles.
Yeah, me
Those
too.
Are my favorites.
The cologne-scented ones.
Yes, tobacco, leather.
This is tobacco and leather. It could smell like gasoline. I'd love it. But yeah, what's cool is like there's a purpose behind most things that I do. So $5. We're going to launch it in September with All Country News and Good Sentiments, and $5 from every sale will go back towards the National Alzheimer's Association. So that was a cool thing.
Another thing that I like to do is I have a drive time playlist, and I ask everybody that comes on, what song should I add? And it can be one of yours. It can just be a song that you listen to that you are loving right now, like as a music fan. Yeah. What song should I add?
I mean, my favorite song from the last 2 years, I'm not saying this to be cheesy, but my wife should have had a #1 hit with this song. If he wanted to, he would. It literally, like, I was...
It is so...
Yeah,
damn,
I watched the journey. I watched the journey of, you know, that song with her from afar, and it was like, we finally did it. Like, she's gonna go like get this #1, and then like they pulled the plug on it at like the time where they should have pushed it uphill. And I'm not talking negatively about the music industry or anyone in particular, but that song for me, I think it allowed me the opportunity to say, hey, that's your purpose. Yeah. Like it's always been about like, how do I, you know, a lot of, I think artists, you know, most artists, entertainers are like, I'm trying to do something for me. And that's beautiful. And it's like, go out. That's the American dream. Anyone's dream. Go out and win, you know, have success, get famous. And that was always, that's Kylie. That's what she's doing. But when that song hit, you know, we watched little girls come up to her at the merch line after a show. This one little girl in particular said, you saved my life. Literally, I was going to commit suicide. I had a grown lady that's probably in her 30s. I was performing at a gala in Kansas City, and we invited Kylie to join me. And before I performed, this lady came up in tears and was like, I left an abusive relationship because of that song. Oh. She goes, that is my theme song. Yeah. And I was like, that's your purpose. Yeah. That song, you know, it should have been #1, but it's, for me, it's like, it's not about the accolades. It's about that one person that needed to hear it, you know? So totally. Yeah. And, I mean, it was inspired by me, so.
Heck yeah. I love that so much. Yeah, that's totally one of my favorites. One of my favorites. That's what my little audition that I did for her, like tour, which wasn't supposed to be an audition. People just piled on.
Yeah.
But that's what I did. I rewrote. If you wanted to.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's awesome, and I'm glad that I got to talk to you and meet you because you're awesome too.
Yeah. Back at you, Hope.
Thanks.
Can I just say I'm proud of you too. Like, first seeing your story and seeing like what you're doing, and y'all like building out the van, and like anyone that will sacrifice and be brave enough to pursue what's on their heart and their dreams and just do it, like, that is commendable. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that. Yeah. It's never been like similar to what you were saying about Kylie. It's never been like a option. I didn't go to college. I got married, was in Iowa for 1 year, and then we were like, hey, gotta go.
Let's go.
And we lived in an apartment for a year, and we were working for a startup like artist development company.
Sure.
And since it was a startup, we'd work until really late in the evening, and then we'd go in the studio, and we wouldn't get home until like sometimes 3-4 a.m. and have to be up and at work. And so we were paying all this Nashville rent for literally a mattress.
Yeah.
And we were running out of money to like make music, and I said, what if we moved into a tour bus? You know how expensive tour buses are.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. I've priced them out.
So I'm like, hey, I've seen this thing on Pinterest called Van Life. And Mitch is like so crazy. Within minutes, he was like Googling dealerships, on the phone with dealerships.
Mitch.
Trying to, yeah. So this is the original van, but our second build. Our first one, we weren't sure if we were going to like it. So we did like plywood, very like a temporary build.
Sure.
And now this is it. 5 years strong.
It's pretty dang sweet, y'all. I mean, seeing it in person, it's like, yeah, I could do that.
Thanks. Yeah, we're just short enough that we can lay this way, and it gives us enough room.
There's so many upsides to being short. I have so many friends that are like 6'5", 6'7". I'm like, I don't envy you at all.
Right.
They couldn't sleep in here. Let's go.
Right. Seriously. Yeah. It's actually so comfy. A lot of, when we go to visit our family and we take the van, we will sleep out in the van, even though they have spare bedrooms. And they're like, I don't understand. Don't you want to come in and like stretch your legs? And I'm like, this is my home. Like when I'm in someone else's house, like I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of homesick.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. Home is where your heart is.
It was hard when we first moved in, because the first summer, everyone feels bad for me in the winter, but it's so much easier to warm it up than it is to cool it down. We didn't have AC the first summer we were in here.
Oh my.
So we were I kid you not, we were snuggling frozen vegetables at night.
What?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
To make the music and do the thing.
Well,
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you're hustling. You know, it's from one hustler to another. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Another thing we do is it's called Test Drive.
What, we just listen to it?
Yeah, we just do verse chorus.
Oh, let's do a fun song. First song on the record. We
are gonna listen to "Girl in a Drink." And Jay, you said you wrote this with Kylie?
Yeah, I wrote this with Kylie. 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had only been together for maybe like 2 years, and I was signed to a management company, and she came over to the office, and there was a producer building the track, and he was like, come in and write to this. And we just, as a fun, I literally made a drink, and I was sitting next to my girl. I was like, give me a girl and a drink. And she was like, that's it. I was like, okay. I thought it was silly, but I've played it live the last 5 years, and like it's just one of those.
People love it.
It doesn't matter if you're 65 or 16, you're gonna dance to it. So yeah.
I love that so much. Is she like Mitch is for some reason, just because our hearts are so. He's like one of my favorite co-writers. You write with her a lot?
Yeah, it's a love-hate. Yeah, because it's like, who are we writing for, you know, and like she writes differently than I write, and you know, yeah, but I loved writing this one with her. It was an easy song to write.
Yeah, the track is so fun.
This day's too close to over for me to be this sober. I need a glass in my hand so I can start to feel like myself. With the bartender sip, I'm gonna get there soon. You'll understand that I don't need much. Just a
You sound so good.
Oh, thank you.
I bet this is fun live.
It is. Yeah. We play with all the tracks and everything. Like, yeah.
I love that. The track is really...
Thanks.
I bet that was super fun to...
It's fun to play. It's fun. Yeah, it's one of those songs where I don't need to have a guitar. I just run around the stage with the wireless mic, and yeah, it was
fun.
Cool in the studio with all the A-list, players, going in there and doing their thing. They added that little like cowboy lick.
That's like one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, we added that. That wasn't on the demo, so that really kind of brought it to life and made it more of a country song.
Is there anything else that you can think of?
There's more coming, but I can't talk about it yet. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's say that, but don't. There's more coming.
Yeah. Yep.
That's super exciting.
Well, let's just say, having a manager that's become like a partner, and someone that I had a not so great experience with, someone that called themselves my manager, and I thought that was what a manager was, but it wasn't. It was very negative. Someone that was holding me down instead of elevating me. And now that I have someone elevating me, I see myself differently. Yeah. I see myself the way that she sees me, which is a beautiful picture. I mean, that's even if we're talking about our faith, I think how God sees his children. It's a lot of times we don't see ourselves that way. Totally. So someone that's kind of holding a mirror up to me and saying, you know what? You're worthy of this. Let's go do this. So she's helping take me to a different place, a better place with my artistry and elevating what I'm doing and helping me see the importance of that.
Yeah.
So
go Stacy.
Yeah, go Stacy. We love Stacy.
We love Stacy here.
She would hate that I share this, but on the road I always sing the little jingle. Stacy is my mom and she's got it going. She hates it. She's like, I'm not your mom.
Like kind of though.
She goes like, not that old.
I'm not that old. No, that is so awesome that you have so many powerful women around you and you're like cool about it. Yeah,
I mean, guys can be like ruthless animals, and like my best friend's a Marine. He's a dude's dude. Like my dad, my father, like I have all these buddies, my bandmates, but like there's nothing like a really powerful, beautiful woman just doing her thing, and it's a yin and yang thing for us because, a lot of times I can walk in and if I'm forceful in a scenario, it's not received well, but if Stacy walks in, she's a short, little, cute blonde, and she speaks her mind, they're like, oh, crap. They're like, for some reason, we're going to listen to her. Yeah, so it works out where she can go ahead and speak for me on my behalf, and then I go do my thing, and it works. And it's working.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we're only a year in.
I was just going to ask, how far along?
Yeah, we've only been together for a year. She's helped me, raise millions of dollars to fight against dementia. She's taken me overseas to tour. Raise money overseas for the first time, and then she helped get us invited to the White House.
I saw that. I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was, oh man. So I got asked by Richard Louie. He is a newscaster for MSNBC to do an interview. He lost his dad to Alzheimer, so he connected with my story. So his story is that he was a news anchor in New York City, and he was like, I got to go take care of my dad. They're like, well, just work part-time. They're like, you allow that? So he would work in New York City as a news anchor at MSNBC on the weekends, get on a plane, go all cross country, all the way back to San Francisco, be his dad's full-time caregiver during the week, and then fly back. He was doing that.
And that's quite literally like opposite sides of the country.
Insane. He's like, I literally only slept like on the plane. Like he was like, it was the hardest time of my life. His dad passed, but he documented the whole thing and he filmed it. And I'll let you do your research and look it up. But he also shared two other stories. So two other stories of caregivers. And so they previewed the movie and they asked I don't even want to share any more about it because I want people to just go look it up.
Yeah.
But there was another gal, her husband was her caregiver, and she got cancer. And so I noticed while we were in the White House, in the president's personal movie theater.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. Yeah.
How do they have time to watch movies?
So we're in there. I'm second row, and at the end of so I noticed there was a young boy next to me, and it seemed like his dad. And I didn't put two and two together to the very end. They roll the credits, and my song comes on, and they start bawling, and then they announced that this lady had just passed.
Oh.
And it was his mom, and his the guy's wife, and they literally just like put their hands on me and cried, and I was like, so
wow.
Some beautiful things have happened, because of Stacy creating those scenarios. And one more that was really cool was they invited us to perform in the U.S. Capitol building. And I never do my research, even like if I'm playing like just a random venue. I never look it up. I never want to know where I'm going, big or small. I never want to know ticket count and nothing like that.
For nerves, or just like you don't want to get in your head, or excitement? You want to be surprised?
I want to treat every scenario the same, equally.
Okay.
I love
that.
Sometimes play in front of a couple thousand people. Sometimes play in front of 5 people. Mm-hmm. I want to give everyone the same experience, and so there's like no judgment to the experience. And so Stacy's like, yeah, you're invited to perform inside the U.S. Capitol building. I'm like, don't tell me anymore. So we just go there, and after I perform, they come up to me and they're like, you just made history. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, that was the first ever official concert that wasn't the Star Spangled Banner inside the U.S. Capitol building walls ever.
Wow.
I was like, I'm so glad you waited to tell me that.
Yeah, because that would have been a lot of pressure.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently, and then I looked it up later, even a high school choir came in and just started singing the Star Spangled Banner, and the security yanked them out. Yeah, so there was a special, unique thing.
They invited you.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the Senate came in and watched me perform, and I got to share my story. I performed Blank Stares, and yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So that's because of Stacy. Great partner in crime, really. So.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible.
Powerful women.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you wear to go sit you're in a movie theater, but you're in the president's movie theater? Were people super dressed up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've gotten to the point now where even when I perform, or we just performed at Old Red for the album release, I'm always just getting dressed nice. So
in case, yeah.
I'm actually dressed down. I have holy jeans, you can't see them, but I've been wearing literally my attire has been black slacks, black boots, nice shirt, button down, tucked in. I'm just ready to rock, because you just never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to present myself well, but that's how I dress for that. Suit, and I had a suit coat jacket for that, for sure.
I would be I would be stressing. I'd be like, am I supposed to wear a gown, or is this we're going to the movies?
The coolest thing about the White House was so after the whole thing was done, I was waiting for Stacy, and she went to use the ladies' restroom, and I was just waiting, and this guy in a really nice suit, all blacked out, black sunglasses, and I could see that he was packing heat. He's like, Jay, come over here. And I was like, oh crap. I'm like, yes sir. Am I good? I'm like, I was here for this event. He goes, I know. He goes, you're Jay Allen. He goes, I just wanted to say thank you for writing Blank Stares and all that you've done for dementia. I lost my grandmother to dementia. It was a really hard time for me. That song helped get me through. I was like, oh man, thank God I'm not in trouble.
Thank God I'm not in trouble.
But then he was like,
seriously,
anytime you're through DC, he goes, take my number and I'll make sure that you and your friends, whoever's with you, can have a private tour of the White House. I'll show you whatever you want to see. And I was plugging in his number. I was like, so what do I write? Who are you? He goes, I'm Secret Service. So now I know Secret Service at the White House.
Shut up. Yeah. Is he in your phone as Secret Service?
Yeah.
That is...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I pulled it up.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. He's
have you done it yet? The White House tour?
I have not utilized it yet, but I'm going to.
That is so cool.
Yeah, Secret Service.
That is so funny.
I didn't put his last name in there.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you ever want to go tour the White House, let me know.
Heck yeah. We'll take the Mercedes, so the whole van.
Let's go. We'll take them both. We'll take the fleet.
Honestly, no, seriously, I'm like, we built this van because we were gonna like do tour hacking.
Okay.
Where we just like follow around a big tour and play in the parking lots and stuff, and then COVID hit.
Oh.
And then we didn't. But
I love that.
Someday.
Tour hacking.
Sometime.
I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Cool concept. Have to actually implement it someday.
No,
but
yeah, I mean, people pay to like be on tours. Like that's actually like benefiting the show too, and like there's another hype element. Like that's cool.
There's this like rock band that one of my friends produces for called Silly Goose, and they have just like a flatbed trailer, and they pull up to random parking lots, and they put on these like ragers in like the Buc-ee's parking lot in random city.
I love that so much.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that's a perfect place to do it.
I know, seriously. I'm like, I want to do like a Cracker Barrel tour.
Yes.
That's like where we sleep most of the time.
So in 2017 or 18, they made me what's called the Highway Find on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And so it was like playing in all the Cracker Barrels. They were just playing Sirius XM.
That's so funny.
And I like just didn't. I'm an idiot. So I didn't realize that. And so apparently it was playing when we walked in off the road just to bring in the band to have dinner. And we sat down and someone put two and two together, and they're like, "Will you sing for us?" I'm like, "A cappella?" They're like, "Yeah, will you sing Sounds Good to Me a cappella?" I was like, "For a free meal, I'll do anything." And they're like, "Let's go talk to management." And I was kidding. They came back. They're like, "If you sing for the store a cappella, your whole band will provide free meals for you guys tonight." And so we did.
They were like, "Go do it!"
And they gave us free meals at Cracker Barrel. So Cracker Barrel tour would be awesome. I highly recommend it.
They're awesome. It's my favorite place.
Yes.
That is so funny that they just sing for me.
I walked into that on accident.
That is so fun. Yeah, Highway Finds are really, really cool. It's broken like a ton of artists. Yeah,
it was at a time where for me, like I didn't really have a team or anything like that. It was a happy accident. I wrote this song called Sounds Good to Me with Phil Barton and Lindsey Rhymes. Phil Barton, hit songwriter, bringing up Lee Brice again, but he wrote Woman Made by Lee, and then Lindsey Rhymes has produced so many massive acts that are on the radio right now. So we wrote that song, two Australian guys, funny day. We wrote it on a Saturday, and Phil was good friends with the programming director at Sirius XM The Highway at the time, J.R. Schumann, and just shot him a text. And then the guy just called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to be the Highway Find?" I was like, "That's how it happens."
Yeah. You're like, "This is what it takes."
I'm like, that was pretty easy, sure. But yeah, that kind of led to my first entrance into like touring.
Yeah.
That got me kind of a deal with William Morris. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Well, is there anything else that you can think of that you want to touch on before we say adios?
I'm good if you're good.
Cool.
Yeah. Should we try to get some sort of deal with Celsius?
I want to so bad. You have no idea.
Celsius, if you want to see this can on the camera on this podcast.
If you want to sponsor the podcast or sponsor a Hope Blanchard J. Allen collab.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Yep. We just need free Celsius. Thank you. Drink Celsius.
I'm doing the...
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing. I know, I'm having to use a straw so I don't screw up my lipstick.
I love it so much.
Have you seen this hack before? You put it through the...
I've never seen that, no.
So it's not wiggling around.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
And it matches your fingernails.
It does. Well, thank you so much for coming to the van and being on the Parking Lot Dreamer podcast. It was so awesome to sit down with you. And yeah, I love you already.
Oh, I love you too, Hope. You're a sweetheart. And thanks. I mean it when I say I'm proud of y'all for what you're doing. This is really, really cool. So keep going.
You keep going too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see everything on Instagram and TikTok and all the things.
Yeah.
Hey, where can people find you?
I'm J Allen Music everywhere, and then JAllenOfficial.com for the website for tour dates and things like that. So
y'all go see them on tour. Make sure in September they buy a candle.
Yes, buy a candle.
Buy a candle.
The Stallion.
Yeah, buy the Stallion and stream Des Moines.
Yes.
See you guys.